So basically, when we talk about the academic writing and then talking about assignments, so we are all familiar with writing an assignment from day one of our schooling. Like as we grow up, the assignments become more formal. There are a certain rules to be followed when you have to write an assignment. So before I begin, let me just share the screen with you all. Right. Um, so when we talk about the assignments, basically, let me just talk about what exactly is an assignment. So you would all have experienced this writing an assignment, probably to assess you. They give you assignments. So learners basically move from their unprofessional and more discovery-based writing to more professional, demanding, and public expectations of specific uh, discourse. And learning the conventions for specific area of academic study, learning and enhancing all are effective methods for analysis and argumentation, and fine-tuning the details of grammatical structure, process of documentation, and techniques, which are mandatory to adapt writing as a mode of communication. Basically, what is an assignment? It's a task or an exercise. So where the exercises given to students over a period of time as part of assignment, and they can be written project for submissions or oral presentations. And what is the main purpose of an assignment? It is, kind of one's writing assignment, maybe of research, argument, analytical, or narrative, where you learn some basic skills that will make the assignment easier. And what are the types of assignments which are given usually? Like, you come across reports, essays, short answer task, summary, project writing, short definition, and explanations, and many more as an assessment. Now, many students rush to begin an assignment without ensuring that they understand the assignment completely. So read the assignment and walk through each requirement carefully. Is there a length requirement or a limit? Must you follow specific citation style? How many sources are you required to use? So whenever there is an assignment given to you, you have to look into all such things like, all the background kind of, gathering material and information about the particular topic given as an assignment has to be taken care of. And then discuss the assignment with your peers to see if you are on the same page. If not, that's a good sign that you should meet with the professor to clarify what kind of a topic you've been given with. And research your options. That is very, very important. Some assignments will leave the topic completely open, while others will limit to which area the topic must focus. And before choosing your topic, it is good to consider what your options are. Can you choose any topic, or are you limited? Such kind of things you have to bear in your mind. Then research what you are considering writing about and see what you come up with. Next. Then we have then you also have to look into the whether it is a descriptive part, and like, for example, a summary of an article or a report of the results of an experiment. And then is it an analytical kind of a thing, and where uh, for example, how you talk about the theories, how they deal with social context, the process of each theory is dealing with language acquisition, and talking about the theories. Then you also have the kinds of instructional design for an analytical assignment include, like, you analyze, compare, contrast, relate, and examine. Now, then you also have something called, apart from descriptive analytical, you also have persuasive kind of an assignment which is given where you have to think on the grounds of persuasive. It's a writing that has a features of analytical writing, that is information plus reorganizing the information with the addition of one's perspective. Most academic essays are persuasive in nature. In academic writing, points of view may include an argument, recommendation, interpretation of findings, or evaluation of the work of others. In persuasive writing, each claim needs to be supported by some evidence. And also another important point, if you have to really write it in your own in whatever point of view on the presented ideas or facts, read some other writers' points of view, look for partners in the reference, patterns in the reference, make a list of different interpretations, discuss the facts and ideas with someone else. Now, to develop one's argument, list the different reasons for one's point of view, contemplate about the different types and sources of evidence. Yeah. So then moving on to the various aspects of an assignment, you have, as usual, we already discussed about it. It has introduction. Then we also come across the main part of it, then the final part. And so what are the basic components of a good, an assignment? That is the intro, the body, and the conclusion. Again, the conclusion needs to be really very clear about it. Like, the components of a good conclusion include not just summing up the thing, but finish the work logically. And by telling that how the written text is applicable to real life, list the most important ideas. So in conclusion, we need to emphasize the key ideas that were expressed in the main part. And also forecast the consequences and results of the phenomena described and suggest different solutions to the problems. Then also, but please ensure that you refrain from writing an opinion. So never give your personal opinion about your assignment. So like phrases like, at least I contemplate so, or of course I'm not an expert. So which are not admissible, which are not accepted. Right. Now, also considering the audience is very, very important. That is the readership. Now, to whom are you writing this kind of a text? I mean, whatever the assignment you are going to present it, who are the audience? That is very, very important. And now, what are the steps involved in writing an assignment? First and foremost, plan. Planning one's assignment will help one get focused and keep one on track. Then also check how much one's assignment is worth and what percentage of the final mark it is. This will help one decide how much time to spend on it. Next is analyze the question. Whatever the question you're working on to write this, you have to kind of analyze it. Before one can answer a question, one need to know what it means, read it slowly and carefully and try to understand what is expected of one. And what is the question about? What is the topic? What does the question mean? What do I have to do about it? Then draft an outline about that assignment. Then you also have to find information. This is again a key aspect of this writing an assignment. Before one start writing, one need to research one's topic and find relevant and reliable information. So, and you can even try in the open library or a public library, talking to experts, online sources. There are so many, I mean, it's like sources where you can get the information of your relevant assignment topic. Now, the next step is writing it down. So once you have found the information, now you have to put all those bits and pieces together and write the assignment. First, you have to make a first draft, then an outline, fill the gaps. Then by writing down the main points, write freely, getting as much down as one can without worrying about the wording being 100% right. I mean, the first draft needn't be absolutely perfect. So you can do it. You can do it. I mean, maybe initially there might be some errors. It's okay. It can be overlooked. And then the introduction is often the hardest to write as you begin to write. So you can leave it till the end. Do not spend too much time trying to make this draft perfect, as it will change. Fine tune it. Revise the first draft. And fine tune the wording and make sure one's writing flows well. And then you make sure different copies of the drafts are kept as you want to go back to them. Leave the writing for a day, read it and fine tune it again. Also compile the bibliography or reference list. Now, next step is edit and proofread it. Once one has written the assignment, it can be improved by editing and proofreading. And then we move on to the next topic, that is, and another important thing is tone and ethics. This is very, very important. The message or the assignment, the work, what you have written, the tone has to be in an it's like a proper tone where, it is it does a function of communication. So it actually reflects the tone actually reflects the writer, and it does affect how the reader will perceive the message. So this is very, very important. Then moving on to the next, that is writing reports. Basically, what is a report? Right. So reports communicate information which has been gathered because of research and analysis of data and of issues. Reports can cover a wide range of topics. Now, good reports are documents that are authentic, objective, and complete. Then the true expense of the research may be assessed through a report, since the written report may be the only appreciable product of hundreds of hours of work. Rightly or wrongly, the quality and value of that work are judged by the quality of the written report. Right. Now, reports can be useful and convincing in the following ways, like to assist an academic or professional communication. And report writing has its exclusive process of developing from the conceptual outline to the final draft of the report, which of course can be fine-tuned as per the content and context. Like, for example, decision-making tool, investigation, evaluation, quick location, development of skill, neutral presentation of facts, professional advancement, proper control, a managerial tool, encountering advanced and complex situations. Now, when I talk about the types of reports, there are long and short reports, formal and informal reports, vertical and lateral reports, periodic reports, proposal reports, functional reports. So understanding report writing as an academic writing. So for academic excellence, the following categories of report writing should be useful to accredit certain process and structure to report writing. The objective and conditions of writing a report under each of the following category might vary. Now, let me just give you an example of a few reports. Like, you have like formal or informal reports, where like you have, for example, you have these, the internal memorandum can generally be described as an informal report. Then you have short and long reports, and a one-page memorandum, which is actually a short, and a 20-page report. It can be too long, and so on. Okay, moving on to the aspects of a report. What all do they consist of? Okay, so here we have now, first and foremost, analyze the report problem and purpose, collect data, document data sources, interpret and organize data, prepare visual aids, compose first draft, revise and proofread. These are some of the steps which are followed And especially when you talk about a business report, I mean, report can be of any, it can be an evaluative report, it can be an academic report, it can be a business report, it can be a financial report, or it can be an audit report. Whatever it is, there are certain things which have to be followed, like the cover page, table of contents, body, which consists of the title and the heading, headers and footers, proper referencing, end notes, and then you have your bibliography. Now, the title page, which comprises of the name of the report, title and organization of the individual receiving the report, picture that is relevant to the report, author's name, title and organization, and the date submitted. Then you have the table of contents. Then in the introduction, explain the purpose of the report and also give its background. Now, there are certain reports called the feasibility report, which are generally taken up for the, a background check. Then next, close the introduction by previewing the report's organization. Then in the body, what are the things majorly it comprises of? Discuss, analyze, and interpret the research findings. Discuss proposed solution to the problem. Arrange findings in logical sequence, use clear descriptive headings as well as charts, graphs, and pictures to emphasize it. Then we have the back part, which is called the back part, where it has the conclusions and recommendations, bibliography, and so on. Right. So first and foremost, you have to understand the nature of the report. Then next, it is the purpose of the report, the contents of the report, and the title, then the brief introduction, main body, summary, end of the report, collection of the data, analysis of the data, and then format of a so this is how it goes with the report. Then coming to the type of the report you are writing. You may also add a few photographs to it, tables or graphs, to make your report more readable and easier to follow. Now, when you talk about the format, it means the structure of a report. I mean, that is the arrangement of data and information in a relevant way. Right. And first and foremost, you always remember there is a thing called first draft, where you put down all this. Need not be in a proper manner, but first draft, you have to, again, I mean, you have to recheck it again. And it has to be circulated, prepared and circulated among few members to figure out if there is something which has to be redone. Then the next thing is, after your first draft, you will have your writing draft, where it is, after which you will have the presentation part of it. That is, the report which has been drafted finally is being presented. Right. Then certain things you have to bear in your mind when you are going in for an academic report. Write formally, avoid cliches, and cliches, phrases such as at the touch of a button, at their fingertip, and so on. I mean, it doesn't give a formal look to it. Avoid journalese, and then, I mean, kind of an exaggerated or sensational style. Avoid jargons. Usually they sound little, complex when you use jargons. For example, the terms like tacit and explicit. Then you have the impersonal writer, where you have to avoid using the word I. Okay. And right. So this is all about the writing reports. Then coming to writing proposals. Now, basically, what is a proposal? It means a suggestion put forward by someone for consideration or discussion by others. Like in the case when someone makes a marriage proposal to you, applied loosely to research, a proposal is a suggestion or a plan by someone indicating a researchable problem that he intends to resolve it. Right. So when you talk about the types of these research proposals, now it can be broadly categorized into two types based on the research paradigms, namely quantitative and qualitative. And proposals may be solicited or unsolicited. Then you also have then in addition to all the above proposals may be typically research proposals, which include details of the plan of the research, need and objectives of the research, and the budget of the research. Now coming to the pre-proposal, a pre-proposal, which is also called as a white paper and a letter proposal, and it's a short description of the proposed project. Then we have solicited proposal, where sponsors solicit formal proposals by publishing specific program announcements. These solicitations are often called request for proposals. Then renewal or continuation proposals, a competing renewal proposal is a request for continuation funding of a project for which the funding or project period is about to terminate. Then we have revised budgets, when a sponsor wants to fund a proposed project at an amount different from the originally proposed. The sponsor asks the investigator to submit a revised budget supporting the amount to be funded. Now, the aspects of proposal, what are the things which get into this proposal? It's the title and the format, and under the format you have the introduction, setting the objectives, plan of action, then the methodology and the conclusion. So these are certain aspects to be considered while writing a proposal. Now, when I talk about a research proposal, basically we write a research proposal to convince the reader that the research project has clear objectives, the research project is worth doing. I mean, it's quite significant and very important in the field. The proposed methods are suitable and feasible. There is a well thought plan and a thorough plan for achieving the research objectives in the available time frame. Next, we need to, before we start writing the proposal, understand the topic. Also put down the aims and objectives and mention the background to the plan. What actually had triggered, or what was the basic idea behind doing this research. So that is a background to the plan or proposal. Then we have an hypothesis, research hypothesis, then theoretical perspectives, ethical statement, and coming to the limitations. The next, it is drafting. Now, this stage involves turning your framework into flowing and connected prose. Then editing. This is again very, very important after you drafted. When you have completed the draft, and you can then, have to view it critically and keeping in mind the desirable qualities it should have. Then redrafting. I mean, drafting it for once doesn't suffice. You have to redraft it, writing the final copy in final. So first and foremost, when you are going in for an academic kind of a proposal, basic grammar rules for academic writing has to be taken care of. You must write in sentences. Subjects and verbs and sentences must agree with each other. You must use appropriate punctuation. You must use the right vocabulary. You must use the apostrophe correctly and with care. And when you look at the style conventions, numbers and dates, capitals, print enhancements, abbreviations, typing and spelling, then tone conventions where formal, jargon, and cliche-free impersonal writing has to be taken care of. Then forming arguments, how to turn your information into a well-written essay or a report. This is very, very important. And next is preparing and submitting your research proposal. That is, now when I would like to conclude, the work on which the research proposal is based must be the original work of the research. Research misconduct may occur at a personal level, research project level. To wind up, we must understand that plagiarism is a specific form and serious act of misconduct. It is the use of another person's words or ideas as if they were one's own ideas. It may occur because lack of understanding and or inexperience about the correct way to acknowledge and reference sources. It may include, but is not restricted to using another person's ideas, work, product, or research data without acknowledgement, arranging for someone else to undertake all or part of a piece of work and presenting that work as one's own. So here we sum up with the research proposals in the academic writing. So with this, we finished block 4, where we've covered assignments for assessment, where we have assignments, reports, and proposals. Thank you. I expect you all to come prepared, read the material for next class, and any doubts pertaining to it,